What is up, guys? It's your boy, Wolf of Cactus Street, and today we're talking some Destiny 2 stonks. Invest now, profit later. And we're able to do that because very recently, Bungie unveiled the contents of an upcoming mid-season balance patch, discussing the buffs and the nerfs arriving to the game very soon. So in this video, we're going to be showcasing some select weapons affected by these buffs. Weapons you should absolutely take out of your vault, acquire if you haven't, infuse, level up if they're craftable, so that when this update does arrive, you can hit the ground running. So let's start out here with the first main patch note, and that is to lightweight bows. This damage archetype is getting, as you can see, some pretty significant range increases. It's, minimum damage fall off distance and maximum are both increasing pretty significantly, and it's getting an accuracy boost as well. So this is mainly directed at PvP. However, I will say, these are substantial enough that in PvE, you will likely feel it as well. So here are the bows I wanted to highlight. It's actually two different craftable bows. The first one is something a lot of people have, and that is the Fell Taradiddle. This comes from the Witch Queen expansion. This, I think, is actually a really underrated bow. I use it quite a bit for PvE in that kinetic slot, and I have it outfitted here with Archer's Tempo, of course, enhanced Archer's Tempo, plus explosive payload for that PvE god roll. However, if you are wanting to try this out in PvP, the cool thing is that you can replace explosive head with actually successful warm-up to massively increase that draw time. That's right, you can actually get Archer's Tempo and successful warm-up on the same roll. So that means if you really get this thing going, it is going to be shooting out bow shots faster than anyone expects. And of course, because it's craftable, you can put on the perfect arrowhead, the perfect bowstring to get that optimal draw time, accuracy, whatever you want out of it. That is the advantage of a crafted weapon. Now, moving on from there, the other bow I definitely want to highlight is another lightweight frame, the Tyranny of Heaven. This actually just became craftable this season with the Last Wish raid getting updated, but holy crap, this thing's god rolls are bananas. So as you can see right here in that first column, you can get stuff like Archer's Tempo, obviously fantastic, but you can also get Explosive Head and Dragonfly. These things never spawn in this left column, or successful warm-up for, again, that increase to fire rate. In the other column, you can get Golden Tricorn for a damage increase. You can get Incandescent, one of the best PvE perks in the game. You can get One for All for a damage increase, Swashbuckler for a damage increase, even Collective Action, a new one for a damage increase, or even Adagio for a damage increase. So the thing about the Tyranny of Heaven is, again, explosive and stuff like that almost never spawn in that left column, so you can combine that with another damage increasing perk in that right column, and you have arguably the new best, certainly for PvE bow in the entire game. This is something that I gotta follow my own advice. I only have it at level 2. I'm gonna be absolutely in Shirochi leveling this thing up because, yeah, it is going to be absolutely phenomenal after these range increases. But moving on from there, guys, let's take a look at the next patch note here that's really going to matter, and that is for shotguns. Specifically for lightweight shotguns, they're reducing the spread angle of the outer horizontal pellets by 15%. Now, this is absolutely targeted at PvP, and that's really the only place you're really gonna feel it. A 15% increase to the pellet spread is not gonna matter on an Acolyte, you know what I'm saying? But there's definitely some weapons you should be taking a look at. First and foremost, the one that comes to my mind is the Reese Walker. This thing was actually a pretty dominant force in PvP for quite a while. We saw this as an Iron Banner drop for a hot minute, so a lot of you guys probably have this, but you may have put it back in your vault when other weapon archetypes and shotguns rose to prominence. It might be time to take the Reese Walker back out, because make no mistake, the fact that this can get Iron Reach, giving it a huge amount of range, is a massive advantage over a lot of other shotguns. In fact, it means you can use Iron Reach to easily reach the range cap of shotguns, and then have your other perks dedicated to stuff like handling and other beneficial stats. So another one you should look at is the Wastelander M5. So this is craftable, coming out of the 30th anniversary update. My roll here is just an older static roll, but I mean full choke plus accurized slide shot, opening shot. That is phenomenal, and you can craft, that exact roll, or heck, even substitute perpetual motion. Some people really like that. And importantly, you can change opening shot for fragile focus, which remember got a pretty significant buff where you now have to actually lose all of your shields and start getting down into health damage before the range benefit goes away. So absolutely worth considering crafting a Wastelander and putting together that roll. And yeah, you're gonna see me do this. Apparently this video is basically just for me to remind myself to get my act together and get these weapons good to go for this mid-season update. Moving on from there, guys, the next main patch note here is for exotics, but specifically the Graviton Lance is getting an unbelievable 67% damage increase for PvE. That is crazy. Like, it is already benefiting from the 20% PvE damage increase that pulse rifles got in the previous mid-season update. So this is really gonna bring it to impressive levels. And remember, like, all exotic primaries do 40% more damage to red bars. And this thing is already slapping red bars, so 67% more damage, absolutely worth utilizing, worth trying out when this mid-season update arrives. And certainly, guys, if you haven't, finished your catalysts and stuff like that, worth doing leading up to this update. But moving on from there, guys, the last thing I wanted to highlight here is with these perk buffs, specifically Gutshot Straight. So they're going to reduce the auto aim penalty by 37.5%. So Gutshot actually increases body shot damage, but it really harms your auto aim. So this just means Gutshot Straight is a lot easier to use. You're not going to have that same auto aim penalty. Now, Gutshot really isn't utilized too much within the meta. Not too many people have weapons with Gutshot. With one exception, guys, there's a weapon with Gutshot Straight that a lot of people have. I myself was recommending everyone get, and that is the Taraxipus. So this came from the Guardian Games event, and this can get the extremely unique one-of-a-kind roll of Gutshot Straight combined with explosive payload. So how explosive payload works is that it turns a certain amount of your damage into explosive damage, and that damage is coded to never be precision damage. Like if you shoot an enemy in the head with an explosive payload weapon, you're gonna see a precision number, that's for the direct impact, and then you're gonna see a white number, that's for the explosive damage. It turns out the explosive damage is coded as body shot damage. So that means Gutshot Straight actually increases every single shot with the explosive payload Taraxipus. Even if you hit someone in the head, that separate explosive damage is going to be increased thanks to Gutshot Straight. So with this Godroll Taraxipus, you're just hitting harder than like any other scout rifle of this archetype in the game, with explosive payload because of that little wombo. And that is a very cool roll. And again, a lot of people do have this. So with this roll, it's just going to be easier to use. Like if you're already planning to use it, even in PvE, you're just going to have an easier time hitting your shots thanks to that Gutshot buff. So definitely consider whipping back out the Taraxipus. Guys, that is going to be it for the video. Hope you enjoyed and found this interesting. If you did, please remember to help me out by simply rating and especially sharing this video. If you guys want to see more Destiny 2 content similar to this, don't be afraid to slap that subscribe button. If you want to get in touch with me and keep up to date with the latest channel activity, the best way is to follow me on Twitter at RickKakis. That is linked in the description down below. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good day.